he's hit this one, Miles. Great shot. Oh, it's a biggie. Straight over the top. Oh, this is high. What a six. What a six. Way down the ground. It's on the roof.
1998, the Sharjah Stadium. A sandstorm swirling through the sky, and standing opposite was an Australian team considered unbeatable. Shane Warne, Michael Kasprowicz, Damien Fleming. Just hearing these names was enough to make batters tremble. Yet on that ground stood a 24-year-old boy, Sachin Tendulkar, facing this ruthless Australian side all by himself. That day, he unleashed a storm so fierce it came to be known as the Desert Storm, a storm so powerful that even 27 years later, its memory still sends a chill down Australia's spine. But how did that night unfold? Let's take you back to that unforgettable moment in cricket history. April 17, 1998, the Coca-Cola Cup was being played in Sharjah, featuring India, Australia, and New Zealand. In this triangular series, each team was scheduled to play 4 matches. Australia, true to its reputation, had already won all 3 of its games and secured a place in the final. Now the date was April 22, 1998, the last league match of the series, India versus Australia. This game would decide whether India or New Zealand would meet Australia in the final. For India, the equation was brutal. Either they had to defeat the Kangaroos, or they had to lose by such a margin that their net run rate still remained better than New Zealand's. This Australian side was so intimidating that beating them felt like something meant only for dreams, not reality. Australia won the toss and chose to bat first. Powered by Michael Bevan's unbeaten 101 and Mark Waugh's fluent 81, Australia piled up 284 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in their 50 overs. As soon as the innings ended, cricket experts around the world wrote India off. They claimed that against this ferocious Australian bowling attack, India wouldn't even reach 200. Victory, they said, was out of the question. But inside the Indian dressing room, Sachin Tendulkar was thinking very differently. He was quiet, completely silent, and that silence was the loudest warning of an approaching storm. India had 2 possible paths to reach the final: either win the match outright or score at least 254 runs to push their run rate above New Zealand. India's chase began. Sourav Ganguly and Sachin Tendulkar walked out to open the innings. They started cautiously, aware of what was at stake, but the partnership didn't last long. In the 9th over, Ganguly was dismissed for 17 runs. India were 38 for 1, and the pressure returned instantly. In a bold move, India experimented by sending Nayan Manja at number 3 as a pinch hitter. Manja and Sachin tried to steady the innings together. Slowly, hope began to rise again, but in the 22nd over, Manja too departed after scoring 35 runs. The scoreboard read 107 for 2. India were once again firmly under pressure. At the other end, however, Sachin Tendulkar was playing a completely different game. The Master Blaster was tearing into the Australian attack without mercy. Shane Warne, Michael Kasprowicz, Damien Fleming, they all tried everything they had to stop him. But Sachin had made up his mind. He was not ready to surrender. He lifted Kasprowicz high for a towering 6, a shot that still lives vividly in the minds of cricket fans. Then came Shane Warne, the most feared spinner in the world. Sachin picked him up straight from near the stumps and sent the ball sailing into the stands. In that over alone, Sachin struck 2 massive 6s. From the commentary box, Tony Greig's voice echoed across Sharjah. What a player! What a wonderful player! That night, Sachin Tendulkar was fighting Australia on his own. He was playing an innings so extraordinary that cricket witnesses something like it only once in generations. But despite his brilliance, support from the other end kept slipping away. Azharuddin and Jadeja both returned to the pavilion without making any significant contribution. 30 overs were completed, and India were 143 for 4. The storm had begun, but the most dramatic chapter of Desert Storm was still yet to come. And then, just as the tension peaked, nature intervened. A fierce sandstorm swept across Sharjah, forcing the match to come to a halt. The storm was so violent it felt as if it would rip everything apart in its path. When play finally resumed, the Duckworth-Lewis rule came into effect and the entire equation changed. The match was reduced to 46 overs. The revised target stood at 276 runs, and for India to qualify for the final, they now needed 237 runs. The math was brutal. India needed 133 runs from the next 15 overs to win the match, and even to stay alive on run rate, they needed 94 runs in those same 15 overs. Against an Australian side like this, the task looked almost impossible. But once the sandstorm settled, it became clear that Sachin Tendulkar was carrying a storm of his own, a storm that was about to tear the Kangaroos apart. His intent was crystal clear. Australia had to be beaten. Sachin lifted his bat again and unleashed absolute destruction. He greeted Shane Warne by lifting him cleanly over mid-wicket for a massive six. The very next ball was struck with such force that it raced to the boundary like a bullet. Warne's face turned red. He had no answers. He simply could not figure out how to stop this man. What followed was relentless. Sachin's batting was so ferocious that the entire Australian bowling attack collapsed under the pressure. Then came the defining moment. In the 42nd over, Sachin flicked Damien Fleming's delivery and ran hard for two. The scoreboard ticked over to 238. Sharjah erupted. Every single spectator was on their feet, applauding. India had qualified for the final. The entire stadium echoed with just one chant, Sachin, Sachin. Victory, though, was still not sealed. India now needed only 34 runs from the next 19 balls. And then, in that decisive moment, Damien Fleming delivered the ball and the umpire ruled Sachin out, a decision that many believed was incorrect. Sachin Tendulkar walked back after an extraordinary innings. He had scored 143 runs from 131 balls, built with 9 boundaries and 5 towering sixes, an innings of courage, power, and defiance. India still needed 34 runs from the final 3 overs, but in that era, one truth was painfully clear. If Sachin was out, India's fight usually ended with him. After his dismissal, the remaining Indian batters managed only 8 more runs. India lost the match by 26 runs. And yet, despite the defeat, Sachin's extraordinary innings had done its job. India had qualified for the final, and waiting for them there was the same unbeatable Australian team. The innings Sachin played amid that sandstorm became immortal. The world named it Desert Storm because it came against the most feared bowlers of the most dominant team of that era. But the story was not over yet. When Sachin walked up to collect the Man of the Match award, he delivered a calm but chilling warning to the Australians. He said that in the final, he would play an even more dangerous innings. That final is a story for the next video. So tell us, how many marks out of 10 would you give Sachin's Desert Storm innings? Share your rating in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll meet again very soon with Desert Storm Part 2.